Imagine stepping into a courtroom where logic bends, the truth hides behind laughter, and justice wears a crooked smile. Today, we're not merely observing a trial, we're peeling back the curtain on a story so bizarre that it could only happen in real life. In the center of this courtroom, we have a defendant unlike any other, a self-proclaimed psychic known for her claims of clairvoyance and supernatural abilities. This case has garnered attention not just for its legal implications, but for the curious blend of skepticism and belief that it invokes. As always, all characters are presumed innocent until proven guilty, but in this courtroom, the verdict might surprise you. This courtroom drama began when a local businessman, let's call him Mr. Thompson, sought the help of our psychic, whom we will refer to as Madame Claire. Mr. Thompson was facing financial difficulties and was desperate for a solution. He had heard tales of Madame Claire's mystical powers and was drawn to her promise of insight into his dire situation. Upon entering her dimly lit office adorned with crystals and incense, Mr. Thompson was greeted by Madame Claire, who instantly immersed him in her world of tarot cards and astrological charts. She told him that she could see a path to financial success, but it required an investment, one that would cost him a significant amount of money. With a mixture of hope and apprehension, Mr. Thompson agreed. As weeks went by, Mr. Thompson followed Madame Claire's guidance religiously. He made changes to his business strategy based on her readings, yet his financial troubles persisted. Instead of the prosperity she promised, he found himself deeper in debt. Frustration mounted, and it was not long before Mr. Thompson decided to take action. He believed he had been duped. He filed a lawsuit against Madame Claire, claiming fraud. The courtroom buzzed with excitement as the trial began. The case raised profound questions about the ethics of psychic services and whether such claims should be protected under consumer law. After all, how does one prove or disprove psychic ability? As the trial unfolded, the prosecution painted a vivid picture. They presented Mr. Thompson as a victim lured into a web of deceit. He described his interactions with Madame Claire, recounting how she had convinced him not only of her abilities but also of the existence of a spiritual guide who would help him. The prosecution argued that she preyed upon his vulnerabilities, exploiting his desperation for financial relief. Madame Claire, on the other hand, took the stand with unwavering confidence. With a dramatic flair, she spoke of her psychic gifts, claiming to have helped many people before Mr. Thompson. She insisted that her readings were not guarantees of success but rather guidance based on energy and intuition. Her defense centered around the notion that psychic services are inherently subjective and that clients should have realistic expectations. The courtroom was captivated by her charisma. She painted herself as a misunderstood artist, one who operates in a realm beyond the tangible and measurable. But as she spoke, the lines between belief and skepticism blurred. A renowned psychologist who specialized in parapsychology, he spoke at length about the psychological phenomena that often accompany psychic experiences, emphasizing the role of suggestion and belief. According to him, many clients enter these sessions with a predisposed belief that can shape their outcomes. He argued that the responsibility lies with the individual to discern the validity of what they are being told. This perspective shifted the dynamics in the courtroom. The jury began to grapple with the complexities of belief and deception. Was Madame Claire a fraud, or was she simply a facilitator of hope? As the trial progressed, the defense sought to highlight the personal accountability of Mr. Thompson. They introduced evidence that illustrated his decision-making process, suggesting that he had willingly engaged in this exchange of services. They pointed out that he had not only invested his money, but had also made choices based on his interpretations of the readings. The prosecution, however, countered this argument by emphasizing that Mr. Thompson was in a vulnerable state. They argued that it was precisely this vulnerability that Madame Claire exploited to her advantage. The courtroom witnessed heated exchanges, with emotions running high as both sides presented their cases with passion. In a particularly memorable moment, the judge raised an important question: what constitutes fraud in a realm where belief is subjective? This question hung in the air, echoing the fundamental challenge of the case. As the trial neared its conclusion, the jury was tasked with determining not just the facts of the case, but also the broader implications for society. Could psychic services be regulated, or were they simply a reflection of human desire for guidance and connection? During closing arguments, the prosecution urged the jury to consider the impact of Madame Claire's actions on Mr. Thompson's life. They painted a picture of a man whose dreams were crushed under the weight of false promises. They urged the jury to deliver a verdict that would send a message to others who might prey on the vulnerable. The defense, conversely, appealed to the jury's sense of open-mindedness. They argued that belief in the supernatural is deeply ingrained in human culture, and that to dismiss it outright would be to deny a fundamental aspect of existence. They pleaded for the jury to consider the nuances of human experience and the subjective nature of psychic phenomena. As the jury deliberated, the atmosphere in the courtroom was tense. The stakes felt high not just for Madame Claire and Mr. Thompson, but for the entire realm of psychic services. When the jury returned with their verdict, a hush fell over the room. The foreman announced, "We find the defendant not guilty." Gasps echoed throughout the courtroom, a mix of relief and disbelief. Madame Claire smiled, her expression a blend of triumph and vindication. However, the verdict revealed more than just the outcome of a single case. It highlighted the ongoing debate surrounding the legitimacy of psychic practices. The ruling placed the responsibility back on individuals, reinforcing the idea that each person must navigate their own beliefs and discernment. In the aftermath of the trial, discussions erupted in the community. Some lauded the verdict as a victory for personal freedom, while others viewed it as a failure to protect the vulnerable. Mr. Thompson, while disappointed, expressed a sense of closure. He recognized the lessons learned through this experience and hoped to educate others about the potential pitfalls of seeking solace in the supernatural. Madame Claire continued her practice, her reputation somewhat tarnished but not entirely diminished. She remained a polarizing figure, embodying the complexities of belief, hope, and the human experience. This case serves as a cautionary tale about the intersections of faith and skepticism, highlighting the delicate balance between belief and deception. In a world where many seek answers through unconventional means, the courtroom drama surrounding Madame Claire reminds us that reality is often stranger than fiction. As we reflect on the courtroom's twists and turns, let us remember that the pursuit of truth can take many forms. Whether through the lens of logic or the realm of intuition, the quest for understanding is an intrinsic part of the human experience. In the end, the verdict may have been not guilty, but the conversation it sparked continues to resonate. The story of a psychic's courtroom defeat stands as a reminder that sometimes the most profound lessons emerge not from the outcomes we expect, but from the journeys we undertake in search of clarity. So as we close the book on this unique case, let's carry with us the understanding that belief is powerful, and the choices we make often reflect our deepest desires for hope, connection, and understanding in an unpredictable world.